Do you ever start a drawing and then you realize you have no idea what you are doing? Yeah, me too. But I have a solution for you. Thumbnail sketches are tiny drawings that help you plan out a bigger piece of art. You might think that some artists come out of the gate swinging with an incredible piece, but what about Yoji Shinkawa? Okay. Don't think of Yoji Shinkawa. Neither of us are him, okay? Or I guess if you are Mr. Shinkawa, hi, I'm honored you're watching my video. I really admire your work. But that tangent aside, you don't need to be a master artist to come up with insanely cool compositions and creative solutions. Because the thing is, anyone can make a thumbnail sketch to plan out a creative project. They are the scaffolding that supports even the most complicated ideas. Stick around and we'll get into what a thumbnail sketch is, why you should do them, and just how to go about it. And by the way, my name is Grim. I'm a freelance artist and I make my own webcomic, which means I have lots of experience doing this exact type of sketching for clients and for comics. A thumbnail sketch is a small, low-effort preliminary drawing that helps you plan your larger piece of art. To do a thumbnail sketch, you want to work small, use tools that you don't have a lot of control over, and be as loose as possible. In traditional art, a thumbnail sketch actually gets its name from the size of your thumbnail in real life. The sketches themselves are usually actually about the size of 2 to 3 thumbnails in my experience, and any bigger than that, and they get hard to complete quickly. Anyway, using tools you don't have a lot of control over and being loose help you complete them as well. The point of a thumbnail sketch is to plan the overall drawing, so you should use anything at your disposal to help you do just that. I think it's also worthwhile to note that I would expand thumbnail sketches out into individual planning sketches for components of larger drawings. Not everyone would consider this the case, as they're more developmental sketches, but since they're part of my planning process for an illustration, I think it's worthwhile to at least acknowledge their existence here, even if the video isn't about them. As mentioned, a thumbnail sketch helps you to plan out your art. Planning your art smooths out the process of creating it and helps you solve problems before you are so far along that they are too costly to fix in time, money, effort, morale, anything that could get in your way. Now, say you're making a drawing for a client and they present to you the idea of a scene. Their character is tasked with fighting an evil werewolf version of themselves in a burning village. Now, obviously, there are a few ways you could solve this creative brief, but the simplest way to choose how to go forward is to create thumbnail drawings of each of your ideas and let the client choose from them. And when you're drawing for yourself, you just treat yourself as the client. Figure out which one you like the best, what conveys your idea the best, and go with that one. Making thumbnails helps you find the best creative solution. I got into it a bit earlier, but making thumbnail sketches requires you to limit yourself. You can't let yourself get wrapped up in nitty-gritty details when the goal is to figure out the overall composition, the layout, the tone, the mood, etc. Depending on what you're planning, you'll want to adjust what you do for your thumbnail sketch to fit your needs. Whenever I'm thumbnailing an illustration, I focus on the composition and rough placement of each element of the drawing. I'm thinking about how to incorporate each piece that I want, not how to do it well. In addition, if I'm not certain of the values and lighting I want, I take the time to block in said lighting with one tone or a maximum of maybe 3. That way, I have some idea of what I'm doing and what I'm shooting for by the end. And when it comes to comics, I'm personally focusing on panel and speech bubble placement, trying to work out the tone of the scene before I go in and draw a bunch of pretty panels. In that case, my script acts as directions for me to interpret, and then once I'm actually drawing, that's space for me to play and experiment and maybe make some changes or improvements that I wasn't thinking about in the scripting process. Thumbnail sketches are about planning, not execution. Find the best idea you can and do it as simply and badly and stupidly as possible just to prove it works. Because if it still works when you're just doing it bare bones, absolute minimum, not even trying, it will be a great foundation for you to build a refined sketch on top of. In summary, by freeing yourself of expectations of quality, you can test a large quantity of ideas quickly and effectively to find the best creative solution. That is the main benefit of a thumbnail sketch that I want you to take away from this video. They help you plan without expending so much effort that you risk a huge cost to starting over and making changes. Draw small and loose, and you'll be able to iterate super easily. Before you know it, you'll have made a blueprint for a drawing you found too intimidating to tackle before. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something today to help you tackle a creative project that's been challenging you. Or at least you have a tool in your kit for the future in case it ever comes up. Anyway, if you did learn something, this is the part of the video where I hold my hat out to you for a tip in the form of a like, comment, subscription, all those things. Tell the algorithm gods that this video has high value proposition and is very satisfying, which means it shows it to other people. In the meantime though, be cozy, be kind, and make something cool.